What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. I am so pumped to be back, guys. Holy crap, thanks for hanging with us last week. We got a chance to level these Ferocious Five from level 7 to level 8, so we're seeing as these new powers are revealed within our heroes of the Shakinda Prophecy. It was super cool to get to kind of share that side of the game with you. It was awesome. I got a couple questions from people during the week about their D&D stuff. Hit me up. If I'm around and I see them, I'm happy to answer them. I probably talk about Dungeons & Dragons more than any human being should. And that's why it's so freaking wonderful. So thank you guys. Thanks to the buds who make it out each and every week. We do this live We do this live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific over here on Twitch TV or twitch.tv/ArtHard Studios. We then re-up our sesh to YouTube on Friday at 4:20 p.m. So if you can't catch us live on Twitch, which again, I highly recommend, we've got the stream avatars, there's all kinds of fun stuff. The buds in chat are too funny. It's official. You guys are too funny. But yeah, come hang with us at Twitch. That's the full experience. Although, for our YouTube buds, we love you so much for just making it out and keeping that channel running and everything. It's just, honestly, guys, I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life, and there's no bullshit to that at all. This is who we are, what we're like, and what we like doing. So thank you so much for validating my humanity. So seriously, fucking A, guys. I love doing this every week, and I just can't wait to get back to it. We do have some really exciting stuff coming up in the way of some cool developments that we've done on the back end. You'll notice tonight we'll have both of our new layouts rolled out. Just as, like I said, as part of that, like anybody that puts money into the show, please just know that we take any of that and it goes directly back into the show. That's how we're able to do these layout improvements. That's how we're able to pay the artists that put so much time into the back end of this project and just make this where it's something we can all do from a place of love and happiness and acceptance. And it's just such a treat to get to know you people and get to play D&D with my very favorite human beings in the entire world. So, shoot, man, I think that's enough. Oh, I did want to thank a little special thank you. Last week during our leveling up sesh, we got a sizable raid from the people over at Geekly Inc. It's one word, GeekLyinc. They did us a huge favor. They pushed us over our previous record of viewership. We got up to like 130 or something, man. I'll tell you after the show, when I was told that, I just I jumped around for quite a bit. So definitely the least we could do to repay them for such kindness is head over to Geekly Inc., give those guys a follow, just let them know we really appreciate them doing what they did. And again, I've checked out some of their stuff too. They have great games over there. So Drunks and Dragons, I think there's some potential future cross-fading episodes with them. But yeah, great guys, great human beings, love them to death. But when it comes to loving people to death, I don't think I love too many more people more than the 5 human beings I'm about to introduce to you, the wonderful cast of Weed&d. And to do so, I'm going to pass this joint through the magical fibers of the internet to my dear friend Brenna. Hey, Brenna, how you doing?
Ooh, I am doing fine. I'm looking shiny and feeling finey, everybody. Let's get this going. I'm Brunor, the Serpent, but in real life you know me as Brenna Folger, the normal human. I'm gonna pass this over to Abby. What's up, girl?
Oh, hey, howdy, hey, and I'm gonna take it. Abby Dandy, aka Tina Smooth Hands round these parts, smoothest hands in the world, I'll dare say. I used to say the West, but now I'll say the world. I've grown, I've expanded, I'm powerful, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a little bit of this power, and I'm gonna pass it to my boy Drewby. What you got for me, Drewby?
Ooh. What up, buds? Drew, Thorkus the dwarf. I'm still short. Who knew? Anyway.
Thanks for the update.
I have maybe had a little bit too much of this already, but it's fine. We're going to have fun. I have a feeling tonight's going to get weird. And I know that y'all have my back. I know that these are the best people I fucking know. And, yeah, let's get weird. Best friend, I'm going to airdrop this one over to you. Ready?
Go for it, best friend.
Oh!
Whoa! Dude.
Oh, thank God.
Accuracy like a champ. my best friend. And what's up, my other friends? Welcome back. We're so glad to have you, as always, Jake Taylor as Real Arthropon. And if shit's gonna get weird, he's the man for the job. Let's get weird, everybody, and have some motherfucking fun. Speaking of fun, the man up in this corner knows how to have some fucking fun. What's up, Gus?
Hey, what up, Jake? Yo, I am Gus, Two Blunts Langley, coming in hot, playing Divot. I'm ready to get down. So yeah, you ready, Bam?
Came back in one glorious piece. Just the magical transformative powers of the internet never cease to amaze me. All right, guys. Well, we got us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like this little sky blue number I'm rocking today. Look around, make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go. Lighters up. Let's play some fucking D&D, guys.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up, roll, and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
All right, guys. After that cliffhanger, I am jonesing to get back in. So, please allow me to set the mood. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they stood victorious on the battlefield after leading the innocent forces of the workshop against the Spriggan army of the sinister Queen Mab. Imbued with raw magical energy from the Feywild, the Five were able to accomplish spectacular magical feats, which turned the tide of the once hopeless battle in their favor. Divot rained his eldritch magic from the sky and reshaped the battlefield with great tremors of the earth. Thoricus called upon the firebird of the Rocca and raged with ferocity, cutting down all in his path. Rial transformed into an aquatic doom beast, terrorizing the enemy from below the icy water, while Tina imbued her terrific divine energy into a devastating holy bomb, which eviscerated the opposition. And Brunor truly became the sea serpent, calling upon the form of her lineage to unleash a torrent of liquid death. Victory, however, did not come without cost. Many of the innocent gnomes fell to the ravenous claws of their Spriggan oppressors, and even the guardian of the summer court, the rabbit-like humanoid Securi, lies unconscious on the blue snow at their feet.
I
All right, guys, we're jumping back in. You know, you see the, you're basically standing as you, I'm sorry, I've got you, great job right off the bat, Brandon. You guys are standing, you know, on the blue and white icy snow battlefield that you just, you know, finished this magnanimous battle. You still see, you know, the surrounding mountain peaks of green and pink that litter the horizon in all directions around you. You know, Divot, you being able to see in 360 degrees, just taking it all in. You can't help but notice the splatches of violence that exist in front of you, looking forward at the frozen lake where Glacius the Ice Blight brought down his giant tornado of icy snow and froze the corpses of the Master Great unit that were, you know, floating in the ice. So before you, you know, there's this ice collection of statues of creatures and they're in their last moment, you know, crying out their swan song as they die, that moment frozen forever in icy magic. You know, you can't help but see the blood splatters and the strange gray goo from the frost giants that litters this once pristine and gorgeous surrounding. The sky, no longer with the burning star in the middle of it, is just this wispy essence of purple and pink. And as you all look around you, you see one gnome. And he starts walking to the ice. And you see his small, innocent frame slowly approaching one of these statues of his friend and ally, now frozen forever in permanent death. And he walks up to it, and he looks up, and his eyes grow wide. And he takes his hammer out, and he smashes it. And as you hear the crashing sound of the ice echoing through the entire canyon, you look, and all the other gnomes in turn, hearing the sound of the shattered ice, perk up, their eyes looking thousands of yards away, their faces twist in a smile. You see they all, ha, 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 just start walking back to the workshop as if you're not there. As if the events that just unfolded never happened. You hear them singing their songs, swinging their tools, and marching back into the workshop. You see as even your generals, the ones you've confided with and talked to, suddenly, the essence of life drawn away from them. They seem focused on only one goal. You let the forces of walk past you, trying to keep an eye on Curie on the ground and them walking behind you. You hear as the ones that get into the workshop, you start hearing the banging of hammers and tools. Ching, ching, their song still singing out happily as if none of this occurred. You look back into the workshop and suddenly you start seeing toys, wooden toys, little carriages and horses and carts and wooden swords in a massive number start spilling out the front end. You look in the door and you realize that all the gnomes that died are not working at their workstations. And you see as these fanatical gnomes start grabbing for nothing from nobody, hitting it with a hammer and passing it along. You see as these strange orbs of magic get passed around between all of them, and this frenetic energy starts going that starts imbuing your bodies as well. You're kind of taken aback for a moment, and you look behind you, and you see a burst of life. Everywhere where the red blood stains on the ground, these small insects and mushrooms start growing. You actually hear the ground peeling as they push through the ground, and you watch as these mushrooms and insects start devouring the blood. You see these worms start growing in size to grub size, then snake sized, as they all start filling themselves on the strange blood that's all around the horizon. You watch as their eyes twist. They start falling back over each other as if they're inebriated. The blood song! The blood song! You start looking around. Mushrooms are talking. These insects are talking. These toys are spilling up from behind you in the workshop. What do you do?
What did you do? I'm looking at you. What did you do?
I look for Sir Curie. I try to go see make sure that he's not being eaten. I would like to go make sure he's not being eaten.
Bruno, you look off, again, he's not too far away from you, probably 50 feet near the edge of the ice lake, where his body collapsed after summoning the strength to draw that great star down on Glacius at the end of the battle. And so remember, if you'll recall, he fell just from being exhausted. He's not he hasn't been wounded per se. But yeah, you see about 50 feet in front of you, on the blue icy snow, just at the border of the now frozen again ice lake, you see Curie's body just laying down, eyes shut, body limp, but there are no blood bugs or strange mushrooms growing around him. But yeah, if you want to run up to him, you totally can.
I too would like to see how Curie is doing. The frenzied nature of nature is no stranger to me, but this is crazy, and I want to make sure that he's fine.
You hear the song of these insects and mushrooms getting louder and louder. You hear them screaming about the blood song and the festive dance. And you notice as these little slugs start riding on top of other beings. And it's just this great orgy of blood, happiness, and magic. As you watch these strange creatures, things you've never even seen before. What looks like a tree, but is actually a bunch of snakes growing from the center core. Suddenly just start kind of springing up around you. As if the removal of this purple and black blight of Queen Mab has allowed the original nature of this place to resume as it would. You kind of feel this wave of energy blowing on you, almost like a cool breeze in the midst of this canyon. Again, it's just the sound of the tinkering behind you, the song of these mushrooms and strange blood-sucking leeches, chanting all around. It's becoming very hard to get your bearing. But Bruno and Tina, you guys push through all of that, start walking forward. You find suddenly it's a little hard for you to walk in a straight line. You feel that intoxication just bleeding out of these strange creatures on the ground. And as they drink the blood and are imbibed and start their dances and their songs, you specifically, Tina, that trickster energy, that tingle in your fingertips starts itching. And as you're walking, you find about halfway there, you forget where you were going. And you watch as, you're kind of just looking around and you see Brunor continue on. Brunor, you run up. And no, go ahead, Tina. Yeah, you were saying?
I almost feel like I was at a awesome party and I was trying to find the bathroom, but I don't know where it is, but I don't really care where it is.
So Tina, yeah, you're like standing there, you're like, oh, I knew I was doing something. And you feel, it's almost like you're standing on a waterbed. Like you're just like, you have to constantly like collect yourself as you're kind of just moving on the ground. And you're looking, you turn back around and you see the faces of Divot, Rial, and Thoricus just looking confusedly at you. It was clear you were just running to your rabbit ally. But yeah, Brunor, you just kind of like take a quick gauge of that and continue on, keeping Curie safe. You move forward, you see him collapsed. Again, his red armor no longer red, but stained pink by the magical mist that once swarmed over it. The pink has settled. It's no longer like an ethereal mist that wraps around him, but rather it's like stained his red armor pink. You see him laying on the ground, his little rabbit face looking up, his eyes closed.
I start to shake him.
You see his big bunny head. He's got like that brown rabbit hair, and he's got these long brown rabbit ears that stick up out of a platinum eagle helmet. And so you see as you kind of shake him, you're a little surprised. The helmet seems like it should fall off. Like you're like, if I'm shaking somebody this way, it strangely stays on him the whole time. But you see his little fluffy ears just dropping on the ground. And go ahead and give me an athletics check. Let's see if you could shake some life into him, Brunor.
Okay.
Shaking check. I need a shake.
It's like a medicine check, but with strength.
13, baby.
Nice. All right, so you shake him and you see, not a lot of strength removes to him, but as you shake him, finally, you let him settle, and you see his head kind of stick up a little bit, and he looks up at you. Did we win?
Cha, but now I need you to tell me what's going on. There's something about a blood ceremony, blood party, blood orgy. I don't know what's happening.
You see his head tilts back. The blood bugs. They don't belong here. The giants, the emotions, the various between the planes themselves. You see as he's kind of like conspiracy theorying to himself, it's giving him a little more energy, Brunor, bringing him, having him connect to his surroundings, seems to have helped kind of draw him out of this strange fatigue. He starts looking around. Oh my. And he looks up at you and he places his little rabbit paw on your shoulder. And he says, Brunor, we had no right to bring you here. You don't belong. And as he says belong, it's almost like he's sitting down on the ground in front of you, and like an endless hallway, he just stretches away from you. Your feet are standing on the same solid ground, and suddenly, Brunor, you start to feel that waterbed feeling under your feet. Like when you're riding Brian and you're about to biff after a big trip. So you start feeling that strange thing in the ground, and as you reach, you watch your own hand stretch out for like seemingly 1,000 yards as you kind of reach forward to him. You draw it back and you look up. Divot, you're standing in the back ranks, with Rial and Thoricus. The three of you guys are just kind of like, you've watched this unfold. You've seen the two, powerful women jump into action to get things done. Tina all of a sudden starts kind of like looking at her fingertips, and she's just looking around at her surroundings, seemingly as if she has no motive or intention at all, echoing a little bit of the way that the gnomes just flipped on a hat. Divot, you look up and you see Brunor just standing there like having a hard time standing for no reason, and you see her reaching her hand out, and it's just sticking out right in front of her over this little rabbit that's laying down at the ground at her feet. You're like trying to make a joke. You look over to like Thoricus and Rial, and as you turn to look, you watch the whole world just go like and suddenly, Divot, no more disorienting to anybody than you, in 360 degrees, the entire world around you just starts. You hear like sounds suddenly catch up with themselves. You'll hear like a blood song, the blood song. And as you move your skeletal hands, you see little vapor trails. Like, you've been here before, Divot. You've tripped out pretty good. a number of times in our journey so far. But again, you always seem to have this strange control over like an illicit substance that takes you here. This is the world of that feeling, and you're not stronger than it. So it's like it's watching somebody who's very proficient at tripping and dealing in this environment. Suddenly, Divot, you lose your, faith in your ability to kind of control this thing. Rial, Thoricus, you feel the hands of Divot on your shoulders, and all of you at the same time. You see the purple and pink mists in the sky start melting into each other like a lava lamp, globs of light that you think are stars that drop from the sky and splash on the ground with real substance. You're watching as the world around you blends basically into watercolors.
I also start singing the blood song.
Yeah, Divot, you're one to pick up a tune pretty quickly. Give me a performance check.
Song.
Soon we'll be taking another ride.
What did you want?
Give me a performance check. Because again, you're a bard of glamour. Your connection to this strange pink magic that kind of floats and permeates all around is a little stronger than before. All right. So
Okay.
yeah, with a 12, not your greatest performance, but again, it's hard to play your instruments when you can't keep control of your hands exactly. As the world shifts underneath your feet, we snap back into Brunor. You're looking down this 1,000-foot hallway, and suddenly you see Sir Curie sit up, and then he goes and flies back, and suddenly that space distortion is gone. And he looks at you, again placing his paw on your shoulder. You must go. You don't belong here. Quickly, to the winter tree. And you see he points to the north, just through this clearing of trees. The same trees that the Powder Up North and Rial traveled through in the battle. You guys certainly haven't noticed anything spectacular or different over there. But as you look at the tree line, you notice that all of the trees have grown faces and mouths. And they're all just bonk, donk, and they're like throwing apples back and forth to one another. You see the pine needle trees are scratching the back of the wide leaf trees. And you just watch as all these trees start rubbing against each other like snakes, their bodies loose, no longer rigid with like wood. And you just see as like everything around you. You still hear the building up of tools, the song of the gnomes tinkering away in the workshop, this frenetic blood song, Divot singing along. What do?
Guys, I think those blunts may have been laced with something. I'm no weed doctor.
Yeah, Divot is floating around like he's wearing Heelys. Like a kid at the mall who's wearing Heelys.
I'm gonna, cause if I'm not ready for any of this, so Brunor's gonna take a look at Brian and see if she can make any sense of what he's like. Do like a mental check in, like what's.
So you're like,
Sean?
My trusted ally. Like surely, if anybody's down and there's one man left, it's gonna be your boy Brian. And so you turn, and you look, and you see him belly up in the snow, just like, just waving his thick, wiggly body up and down in the snow. You see a couple of the blood mushrooms bouncing around on his chest, but not leeching into him like they did with the blood. And he seems tickled pink by it. He can't like look down very well because he's a Dracodile. So he's kind of just like, and you see his wings are just kind of pushing him back and forth in the snow. But yeah, he seems to be feeling it too.
Excellent.
I hear the blood song that Divot's singing, and I feel like dancing all of a sudden. I just want to get in the groove and dance along. Do a little vibe check to the dance.
Ooh, yeah, Tina, you feel, if you recall, you felt very natural in the Feywild. And as you start this little dance that you're doing, you look at your wrist and you begin seeing the porcelain dress that you had on you at the Mad Tea Party. And as you dance and the music, the sound surrounds your body and you kind of just let go and start flowing in this mist, you look down and you watch this porcelain dress just form all over your body once more, and you look down. Now you all see Tina pull her mace out, as this whole thing is waving around. But Tina, in your hand, you have your gorgeous candy cane once more. A nice little baton for some dance moves, and you pretty much just let go. You're kind of like going into the blood song. You guys see this. You see Tina, typically maybe the one that might help you out of this situation. It's just like when your driver's the drunkest one at the party.
Swirling it around, and I'm reliving the dance moves that I used to dance in my childhood, and I know all the steps, but I am a hot mess doing them all.
Yes,
You look like me
WeeD
dancing.
is wasted.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like when you've had several too many and you're like, I'm the greatest dancer in the world right now, and really you're just like sweaty and gross. It's like, you guys, where's my purse? Where's my purse? Tina, you're having the best time of your life. You feel fantastic. If you're missing any hit points, you get 5 back. Like you feel this pink crazy magic that's wrapped around you, just kind of like covering your skin and making you feel good as you stand fully presentational once more with your candy cane in hand. Whew. All right. So, gentlemen, you're looking back. You see Brunor kind of still, maybe just like petting the ear of this rabbit. Feeling his little warm fur. You see the strength that in Sakuri is fading. He's pretty much he tries his best, puts both paws on your shoulder, Brunor, and he says, Celestia, the Northwood, you must go. And he pulls off 1,000 feet away once more.
He'd be sure to say we don't belong.
Bruno is grabbing him by his little cheeks and stuff, like just holding his face.
No, you're going to die.
Your face is so soft.
Your life is in grave danger.
It's like rabbit's fur.
No, yes,
like a dog.
everyone you've ever loved will die if you do not go to the north.
Love
Yes.
it.
Oh, yes, ooh. And then you see you hit a spot that he kind of likes, and he's like, ooh, his little ear like.
Chaw.
And then again, he's like, you see the long hallway before you, and he's just like, go! And he watches. The waves kind of wash over you as well. You turn around, you see Tina, waving her mace around majestically. You imagine in her mind she's the most grand dance you've ever seen, but she looks like, like she's pretty white girl wasted right now, just kind of like having a hard time standing, but making whatever. It's a controlled falling, not so much dancing right now.
Like a gazelle.
All right.
Yeah, I'm stumbling a hot mess, but I'm having a fun time doing it.
All right. What about the rest of you guys? What are you doing?
Yo, Divot's song. That's a bop, man. I'm like trying to put some kind of beat to it, but then throwing some prestidigitation for fun, like little sparks coming off. So that's captivating.
Yeah, the sparks, you see them burst off and then they multiply and then suddenly they should be gone, but they're still there. And when you move your head, like the colors just in front of you and you start playing with that, like you'll have a little burst of magic and there's just this glowing orb, and then you're like, move it real quick and there's just this arcing light across your eyes, and you're just kind of getting caught up in the blood song as well, listening to the tinkerers and the workshop behind you. It's all creating this little bit of a melody that seems to be kind of taking over most of the people around you.
Divot only understood like a third of half of what Sir Curie said. So like it's like I just remembered what it's like that, oh wait, I have legs and I can run. And I'm not exactly sure where I'm supposed to go, but I'm just like, ah!
Yeah, you're like you said, you're kind of sliding on your heelys, so it's like your back is arched backwards, and you're taking these really long, clumsy steps with your feet because you're just like, I'm trusting my feet to take me where I need to go.
Yeah, like John Lennon walking.
Yes. So yeah, you're just, you guys suddenly see, Divot starts walking forward. Your legs first take you, Divot, to your sister Tina, who stands before you. Looking. If you rolled up in a bar at night and you saw your sister like this, it's not the best way to see her. So yeah, you see she's getting overwhelmed a bit by this song, even as you move forward and let your feet move. So you arrive right in front of Tina.
This is my favorite song.
Yes, it's quite good.
Do you want to dance?
All right. I start dancing really hard, and then I throw up.
All right, so Tina, you're in your little porcelain palace. The world around you becoming more and more like a Marvel palace, this great presentational hall, this grand ball that you're putting on is in front of you. And you see the clunking, lobbering body of your half-undead brother, stepping in with his muddy boots into your marble palace. And he begins dancing with you, almost moshing with you. You see as the convulsions of his body just start slamming into yours. And then he turns around and he throws up blood.
Yo, and when I
you see a river of blood pouring out of the mouth of your brother.
I swear it, like when the blood hits the ground, it looks like Real.
So yeah, you see as this, you're all seeing this red torrent, a small river, like in a comedy amount of vomit coming out of Divot, but it's this bright red color, like, the deep red of blood, bright red, deep red. Here we go. I'll pick one. The dark red of blood, and you just see this torrent blowing, and as this river of red liquid starts to spread across the icy blue lake, everywhere it touches, you see these mushrooms popping up, and then these tendrils shoot out of them, and they all start drinking this strange magical blood.
Gross. No. Yikes. That's
That, stop clapping.
Don't slow that, please don't.
I don't like it. It's very scary, and it's making me really nervous. I don't like this.
I grab one of the mushrooms and just kind of put it in my pocket.
All right, Divot, make a Constitution saving throw.
Jesus.
Ooh, you touched it.
No.
It's a DC 18. It's a pretty tough one.
Oh, shut.
All right. You see, Divot, you pick up one of these mushrooms, and then all these little tiny tendrils, they all start wrapping to your skeleton arm. And you're kind of fearless when it comes to like a blood-sucking leech, because you don't have a whole lot of blood. But you notice as the tendrils, almost like they have small little drill tips, just start spinning into your skeleton arm. And you feel the bone, like they're sucking the marrow out of your arm bone. And you take 14 damage as you feel your arm just burning in pain as like the substance of what makes your arm is sucked out by this mushroom.
Okay, let me ask you this. Can I take the damage but also still let...
Ooh, I lost it.
Get...
Oh my god, break my butt.
What's he gonna do with it?
Yeah, but only if you... And if you...
You'll be saved.
And then you'll be safe.
Oh, no.
No, yeah. I'm gonna... Was your question... Were you asking if you could keep the mushroom still?
Yeah, I basically want to keep it for later. Like, I'll totally take the damage for grabbing it, but...
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, Divot, again, you don't have like veins to attach to it. They're really sucking the juice out of your bones. So you are able, you just reach down with your other skeleton hand and grab this little pulsating red and purple mushroom, and you pull it off the bone, and then you see the little tendrils snap. And a little bit of the marrow that they were feeding on kind of drips out of the severed part of their body that hangs from your arm even still. And you take the mushroom and you're like, oh yeah, I got just the pouch for this bad boy. And you kind of stuff it in, wrap the cinch real quick. It's kind of like a pesky booger that you can't get off. Like you put your finger in, you try to pull it out, you're like push it, but it's always like, and then you're like shaking it and it's like dangling on the tip, and so you're just like try to flick it into the bag, and that doesn't really work. And then you're frying balls right now too, so it's just like this whole act is much harder than it should be, but you do manage to finally cinch the cord and bag your blood-sucking mushroom.
Little souvenir,
Make note of that, so I know not to touch it. Okay.
nobody touched my mushroom.
But yeah, you are more and more aware.
You came here and just vomited all over my beautiful party.
Yeah,
How are
Tina,
you?
to you, in your mind, all of these little mushrooms are in little tuxedos and hats. You know, they showed up dressed for the party, unlike your brother. And so, yeah, each of these little mushrooms, including the one that you saw him just rip off of his arm, you know, he takes this little tuxedo, top-hatted man and stuffs him into a bag. But you see as, you know, your guests are arriving. There's many, many here, and you look, you notice there's probably like 500 of these mushrooms starting to grow out of the strange river of blood that your brother vomited on the floor.
Can we? I mean, you're probably feeling bad or something, but can we clean
I
this up?
actually feel way better now that I got that out of me.
Okay, cool. Well, can you clean this up?
And I just kind of like kick the snow over it behind me like a cat and start walking away from it.
With the long
See it
steps.
now. I can't
I
even
just-
see it.
I have a big party, and I was just really enjoying that song.
Yeah, you notice the chorus of that song is getting ever louder with the arrival of more and more of these strange red and purple mushrooms that are drinking from the various bloods spilled all around you. You even hear this slurping sound as like there's some of them under the ice, like under the frozen top of the lake, sucking at whatever blood is left below the ice.
I just like step on it extra hard and like squish it into the ground.
You just, you know, it's no problem at all. You
Yeah.
just smash it into the ground, and as you step on it, you know, whatever blood it's drank on squirts out of the body of it. And then you see as other mushrooms start popping up, you know, like rather than one large mushroom, now you have 5 of these small ones that are feeding off the even smaller bits of blood. Again, Tina, it's almost like that damn spot you couldn't clean in the Mad Tea Party. It's like you're looking around as this mess is just starting to overflood. All 5 of you are seeing all of the mushrooms. You know, only hers are dressed up.
Maybe this isn't the best spot for my party. What if we went over there? And I point at the, what's it called? I'm sorry.
No, the wrong direction. What are we going? I don't know, over to the lake. You guys go to the lake? Tina, give me. You have this newfound intelligence. Give me an intelligence check. Okay, so just click on your intelligence stat. We'll see if you actually can figure out through all this which direction's the right direction.
Let's see.
Counting on you.
Remember, smarter than you've ever been. You know, you gaining that extra intelligence from this last level. You're like, let me put these new book smarts to use.
See what I get.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Oh.
Wait, because you. Wait, I got it! Wait, I'm sorry, wait, is that a 20 or a 16?
That's a 20. That's a 20. Yeah, just we're starting to show roll results on the show. We thought it was important that you guys kind of get some of that fun with us. Just so you know, the way Roll20 rolls, it's the first number is the one that you roll. The second number is if you have advantage or disadvantage. So that second number only applies in those scenarios. It's the first one that you're looking at. That's why it was confusing when we just had the 3D dice. Anyway, we're getting better. But yes, Tina Smooth Hands, crit hit. Oh, I dropped my joint. I'm not even gonna try to find it. I got it on there. It was almost done.
Like,
If the studio lights on fire, that'll be the greatest cut ever. 5 minutes later. All right, Tina Smooth Hands critting on this intelligence check. Now, again, in the 5th edition rule set, a crit only happens when you're attacking or whatever. But I mean, let's not lie. Crits are dope. So, Tina, you're trying to find which way you're gonna go. And you know, your finger starts kind of moving like it's following the book music of the song that you're hearing, and you look at your gorgeous porcelain arm, and you kind of shake your eyes for a moment, and you see your skin coming back to normal, you know, no longer the porcelain dress, now your mace in your hand, no longer a candy cane. You're looking around, and you see Curie, you know, finally giving up whatever strength he had left. He's fallen on the ground, and you reach your energy toward him, and you start calling, rather than on this Feywild trickster energy, on the purifying power of Shantia. And again, in this realm, it's hard for her power to get to you. It comes more like a stream than a river, but you start bending that warm, healing light that you have. And you hold your hand out, you know, and it's like waving in front of you, and you see Curie's body start glowing like a star in the sky. And you watch as his body lifts up, floating about 6 feet in the air. His arms and legs hang at his side. It's as if he's being lifted by his chest. The pink armor catching this pink and purple mist around him. As he floats up, you see Brunor, seeing this little bunny guy float up in front of him. You see the Sword of Dawn, cast off when he fell, that's sitting near the middle of the lake, sit up as if alert by itself. And it arcs over, and just as the sword reaches his body, you see his hand, his little paw catches the blade. The the golden dragon skin hilt with the bright yellow gemstone in the hilt suddenly glows like a bright sunlight. And you see Curie float forward, smile, and then he turns into a ball of light. And you see him start floating toward the northern wood. And you feel this warm draw, pulling you along, as if you granting him this life force allowed him to help show you the true way.
I try to do the same thing.
Divot, give me an intelligence check.
Yes, please let me turn into a ball of light and follow this guy.
It's like a black ball.
What? Just straight intelligence?
Straight intelligence. You see this thing happen.
Aww.
You try to draw upon this light.
You said you tried.
Divot, you feel
Certainly tried.
you're gonna do it. You feel the warm light pulling into your body. You're like, yes, all that I need to do is leave the earthly constraints of the ground. And you jump up into a cannonball and fall right back to the ground. And land on the ground. You take 1 point of fall damage. Oh.
I want to chase after this ball.
Yeah, Bruno, you're like, ooh. You see this warm pulsing light leading you through this clearing of the trees directly north of where you guys are, past the workshop, leading up toward one of these purple and green mountains on the horizon. So Tina's headed that way, Brunor's headed that way. Divot, Rial, Thorkus, what are you guys doing?
So there's a lot going on, and Rial's never really had the life chance to experience this mind-altering feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the closest was the tea party. So this is kind of like childlike wonder for Rial. Like, everything's so pretty in the background. There was the blood barf, that wasn't very cool. But then, just looking around, everything's great.
But it was pretty,
and
yeah.
It's so pretty, and the rabbit Sir Curie just starts floating, turning into a ball of light. This is very visually stimulating. So I'm gonna kind of shakily put a hand on Thorkus' shoulder and feeling rather just I want to follow that. I'm just gonna look at him do you want to race? And then start taking off that way, but like baby deer. Still fast and shit, but just whoa, whoa.
So, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, Thorkus, you look down, and more than anybody else, you feel one thing right now. Rage. You feel, if you recall, right at the end of the fight, when you turned into a giant monkey and punched a hole through the giant ice creature, you were fueling off of a berserker rage that you had called on from Malka the Fury's, from Lucille the Fury, her magical power. And so, whereas you've expected that this battle rush will go away, this magic has a duration, surely, you notice as you look down, your fists are still clenched. Even when Rial touched your shoulder, you felt your muscles kind of tense up a little bit. And Thorkus Onyxheart, you are unable to leave your rage. You feel
it.
You see Rial laughing and running, kind of stumbling his way, sometimes on a knee, sometimes on a foot, headed off. You see Brunor swatting at this light that, doesn't seem to be moving as much as she is, waving around at it. You see Tina just kind of following, almost virtuously. You see finally no longer dancing and everything, casting off kind of all the wildness. It is this light that draws her forward. But yeah, and then you see Divot just kind of getting up from his cannonball. So there you stand, Divot and Thorkus. What are you guys doing?
That was a nice Kamehame vomit you just did. Thanks for not getting.
I feel a lot better.
Well, I don't care. I'm furious.
No, he's curious.
Oh! If I was a fucking monkey, I would be Furious George. And just so everyone knows, when I turned into the big golden Super Saiyan monkey and punched a hole through that guy, he was like that when I got here.
So,
Everyone knows.
when I was being raised by gnomes, it was rude to let somebody be in a bad mood alone. So I just jump right in with him, and I'm like,
Yeah!
So you both, because of this connection between the two of you, Divot, the performer, the glamour magic dripping around him, Thoricus, this rage feeling through you, as you have this shared thing, and you start doing that raka that you did during the battle. You know, it's like the only way that you can purge this violent, strong energy kind of pulsing through your veins in a way that's helping you neutralize it. So you see Divot connecting with you, starts doing that raka dance with you, hard, strong motions, slamming yourselves in the thighs, but you feel like you kind of have the anger part of it controlled. You're hyper focused, but there is you feel your blood just pumping through your veins.
You know what I picture, if any of you have seen it, is when they're interviewing fucking Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, and you can totally tell they're just so jacked on cocaine.
So much cocaine.
Potent. Taste it in the air. My gizmo.
Yes, I am familiar.
I figured you might be, so.
All right, so yeah, so that's basically what happens, Thoricus. You're able to kind of, rather than an irrational, furious rage or bloodlust, you are hyper focused. But you've got this itch at your skin to move, to get. It's like you start looking around, you see, three of your allies headed off to the north following this ball of light. You look over, Divot's helped you kind of master this thing, and he's now looking at you. What do you do?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you guys do?
Yeah,
There's blood mushrooms coming at you.
meets
If you don't
the
move soon, you're
madness.
gonna start getting blood mushroomed. That's basically it.
Mushroom?
Yeah, we should follow them.
Why? Are we gonna hurt him? We're gonna hurt him, aren't we? You know what? Yes!
Unlike everybody else who's walking like they're on a waterbed, you see Thoricus just running like a trained military fighter. So much so that he gains up immediately. All of you guys, it's taking you 13 steps of movement to get one square. It's just you're going more left and right than forward at any time. You see Rial, like a baby deer, just sometimes on his elbows and knees trying to go forward. The smile never leaving his face, as he puffs these little bits of magic that seem to be dancing around him, having a great time. You see Divot again, more controlled of his movement as he's kind of following, Thoricus's intention, his focus is so strong, Divot, that it's almost like a break wind for you. You can get behind him, and it's he's cutting through the madness a bit for you. And so you're just following suit. You finally catch up with Rial, kind of grab him by the cloak and stand him back up. The three of you guys catch up with the ladies. You're walking through these, snow trees. Again, like I said, they're all kind of undulating, wrapping each other's leaves on each other, scratching each other's backs, and just dropping fruit, trading fruit back and forth around each other. They're all laughing, smiling, crying, screaming. Everywhere you look, there's a different facial expression carved into the wooden barks of these wintry trees that surround you. You finally kind of push your way through to a clearing. And as you step, it's the edge of this tree line as you're walking through them. You see this great barren snow plain in front of you. Almost like when the battlefield you first arrived at in the Feywild. Just this, don't worry, I'm not bringing the map back. But just this large white expanse of nothing. And as you break the tree line, it's like you step through a portal and you teleport. Those of you who stepped first kind of look back and you watch your allies disappear as there's this rippling essence. There we go. And suddenly, what was once this blank clearing, you step forward and your feet are standing on frozen ice. This frozen river that leads forward. You look to the sky, and rather than purple and pink anymore, now it's just a world of white. Snow covered everything, the leaves of all the brambles and thickets around you. Strangely, no life, no song, no music, no anything, just the lingering stillness of the dead of winter. Each of you steps through the tree line. You've gone through a couple portals in your time. It's not like you're like, what was that? But certainly it's like there was some invisible portal there that you stepped into, and now you're standing before this like beautiful white tree. It kind of hauntingly reminds you a little bit of the clearing where you found the peach cherry blossom tree that led the way to the dungeon of Auntie Agatha Frogwort. A similar kind of feeling, except for not that hyper color. Everything is white and grays with just these little kisses of the cold winter pastels, all around you. You see the river kind of leads up to this stone wall, almost as if presenting this beautiful tree that just reaches up, soft white ash wood that bends as if presenting its leaves to the sky. And you hear this small voice. Welcome. That's all you hear.
Did everybody hear that? Divot, can you
Thank
If they talk louder.
very much.
I should
Thank
talk
you.
louder so everyone can hear it.
That was very polite.
You see the leaves of the trees moving, like there's wind blowing, but there's not. Like they're just kind of freely moving in the air, almost like what Tina imagined herself doing not too long ago. You hear the voice once more. Come forward. Come to
Okay.
Okay, I'll do what the lady
Okay, I
says.
heard that.
They want us to come for words.
I come
Comfort
forward.
Yeah,
And I can't. Yeah, let's do what she says.
let's come
It's
forward.
not like we can.
Alright.
We're not gonna get like 2 bad talking trees in a row, right? And
No, I don't think
What are the
so.
odds?
No way. There's no way.
All I'm saying is,
This
if
one
please would be
dances.
nice.
That's
Is
true.
please too much to ask for? I mean, I don't like
Where
being
does
told
the
to-
tree?
Oh, manners
No
are very
disrespect.
important.
I
Yeah.
appreciate your perspective. That makes sense as well.
Have manners gone right out the window? Like,
All right, you hear as a reply to you, Thoricus.
what?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I always do things the wrong way. And you see the limbs of the tree begin wilting. And almost like a weeping willow, the bones of the tree start bending over. I never do anything right. And you see this white fog start dropping out of the tree. The fog continues to fill the white expanse in front of you. You kind of start backing up a little bit as it reads and reaches out for you. I'm so sorry. Never good enough. Never strong enough. I let my kingdom down. I let Martha die. I let my kingdom down. I am my father's daughter. I am not real.
What?
And that is where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys.
Ooh, spicy. I like it. Spicy.
Oh,
That spicy fog.
spicy.
Such spice.
You don't even know what's coming next. All right. I do, and that's why I can't wait to get back. All right, dudes, we do a 10-minute intermission. Let me tell you the best thing about this intermission. You get to see all the fucking incredible art that has been submitted for this beautiful project. You get to listen to all the wonderful music that the great and brilliant Sandy Stein creates for us. All of our original music is done by Sandy, and he is amazing. You also get, usually we do a battle royale, so we're going to let all your little guys fight, and whoever wins gets 100 gold. And shoot, other than that, I mean, that's 3 awesome things. If you want anything more than that, I mean, like, come on.
I'm just being greedy.
It's like, So, all right, dudes, we will be back in 10 minutes. When it's gonna be crazy. I promise.
I'm sweaty. I'm sweaty now.
Welcome back to WeeDnD, guys. Holy crap, when we last left the Ferocious Five, they had finally broken through the layer of insanity that wrapped up the area surrounding the workshop and managed to work themselves into another location entirely. They stand before this strange tree that now weeps before them as this strange billowing white mist seems to flow toward them. The tree itself spoke of guilts that each one of them had. We jump back in. You see the snowy white sky, again, the white ashwood tree bending now, no longer sticking up toward the sky, but starting to fall like a weeping willow toward the snowy ground beneath it. Your feet kind of cold on this freezing ice. You smell just that moisture in the air of like the dead of winter, a heavy snow always just moments away. There's like a static in the air. You're waiting for the snow to fall because everything's covered in snow, but it's not snowing. The only white moving that you see is this mist before you that suddenly you start to breathe into your lungs and you feel the cool air wash over you. You hear the tree speak again. Welcome to the plain of lament. Fill me with your sorrow. Fill me with your guilt. And I will open your way.
There's a lump in my throat as I look around. And I can't help but notice the beauty of Shantia around, but the beauty of life is also inherently the beauty of death. And I am reminded of my late mother. And it's overwhelming. My chest feels heavy and my fingers feel numb, and I'm reminded of how I was unable to save her in her final moments. I step forward to the tree.
You see the hanging branches reach toward you a little bit. What are your guilts? Feed me. My power spread far away. I need to sustain myself.
I'm a child wandering alone in this world because I abandoned my mother, who was just trying to defend herself against an alcoholic man in a rage, and I chose to do nothing. I chose to watch.
You left her there.
Yeah, I did.
Alone.
And she gave me everything. I owe her my life. She taught me how to wield my weapon, how to create nothing from something, how to create something from nothing. I owe her my life, and I didn't defend her in her final moments.
She is probably very sad. And as you hear the word sad, the mist kind of billows from the base of this tree, but you see the branches beginning to extend upward again. Oh, I need more.
Please don't. Please don't.
No,
Branches.
I don't like it. No.
Reach out toward Divot. Yes. It contaminates you. It lives within. Let it out. All right, you see once more this torrent of red blood. It stains the all-white horizon that surrounds you and cuts this shedding, striking, vivid color, almost a velvety red that billows forth. I just have to ask Divot, is this the bartender? There's a few things. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to pick a guilt for you. But yes, Divot, you see as your blood begins to form. And all of you, Tina, even you're kind of called. You look back over your back shoulders. You see the branches of this tree reaching toward Divot, elongating, reaching toward him on the ice river. And you see this little river of blood begin to take shape. You see the bar table Tina, you remember this table. You, Brunor, and Divot all sat drinking around it in the bar, where this slaughtered man lay on the other side. You all assumed the dragons had gotten to him. And you watched
He was like that when I got there.
That's what you told me.
He was like that when I got there.
I had to do it. No, I had to do that.
You see the blood spilling toward this little man, kind of building. You guys watch as basically the crime scene is all painted out in blood.
For a moment, I'm pulled from my own self-shame spiral, and it's a moment of shock for me. I don't say anything, but I tuck it away, and I judge Divot a little differently. But I go back to my own shame spiral.
And even your own shame spiral, Tina, touched by that guilt, the guilt of your younger brother, this jovial bard at one point in his life, now this half-dead revenant with this red mask of death emblazoned in his face and skeleton arms. It also starts, you feel that guilt layering
I'm
in.
certain it was my fault that he did it.
Yes, it was. You could have saved him, Tina. You see the branches continue rising. Divot, you look at this murder scene, and you look right at the spot where the man you killed begins forming into blood. He reaches up, and you hear the voice of death once more. You must kill Rial. Kill Sithasis. Kill. And he starts clawing across this blood floor. Kill Rial. Kill Sithasis. And all the blood splashes away. The tree still reaching toward you, Divot. Feed me.
Yo.
Shit.
You hear the heartbeat. Almost like somebody beating at the walls of your chest. Trying to get
I
out.
was happy when Rial burned that church down.
Right?
Perhaps what if there were children? Oh, it could have been a massacre. You see the branches continue shaping up, now about halfway toward the sky.
My shame spiral continues, and I'm thinking about how certain it is that it's my reasoning that Divot slaughtered that barkeep, but also the guilt I kept with myself for so long for not telling Divot the truth about his origins, about our relations.
True. You knew long before Divot, told by Brackus the Mired. Sorry, DM moment. But Brackus the Mired, who revealed the truth to you that your own companion that you had been traveling with was indeed the son of your father, who had been sent away to hide his shame when one of his bar maidens had gotten pregnant. And so you did, you feel that wallowing guilt just eating you up in your stomach as you're kind of purging it out, similarly to Divot with his blood, but you just with this brutal truth that Tina has danced trying to avoid her entire life.
Yeah, and I'm spiraling around in it, and I feel the guilt and the shame and everything light up with me, and I vomit that information out onto the tree, and I reach my arms around its trunk, and I squeeze its face, and I hug this tree in this moment, and I'm just vomiting tears and vomiting emotion and vomiting everything while hugging the tree.
Yes, Tina, this purge of everything within you, tears jetting down your eyes, they splash upon the white ash of the tree, and you feel the tree, several of its branches actually wrap around you as well. So much guilt, so much sorrow, child. It's your fault. It was all your fault. And you're just pouring this emotion into it. You also see several of the other branches extending toward Brunor, Rial, Thoricus. What do you do?
I hear the tree saying, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault." And it's this whispery voice. And Brunor kind of walks around with a lot of guilt often. And so Brunor just kind of starts feeling the weight of every regret, of also not being there when she was supposed to be, and also not telling her friends the truth of who she is. Not that it's a secret, it's just she's had shame because she had a purpose, she had a job, and she failed. So Brunor steps forward and she kind of puts her hands up and she goes, "Hello, I am Brunor the Serpent!"
Speak, child. I sense much power within you.
I told you my name, what is your name?
Celestia.
Hello,
You see one of the branches
Celestia.
reaches out and shakes your hand.
Thank you. Celestia, I have to tell you the truth. I didn't tell you my full name. I am Prince Brunor the Serpent from the Kingdom of Elmira.
Oh, the fallen kingdom. A broken child. A shattered family. And you feel the branch kind of going down your cheek as she fills you with all of this same guilt that you felt fighting, pushing away from your entire life.
I was meant to be there. I was supposed to be standing guard. That's literally my job. I have to protect the kingdom as the prince. And instead I decided to fuck off and get in trouble again. I had a record of doing whatever I wanted, not taking responsibility for myself and for my duties. And so for that, I let everyone down, and now they're all gone.
Yes. You see she strokes the side of your, sea green hair. Yes, child. You were to stand guard. The dragons came from the north. Your post, your position. You could have lit the fire, showed them the way. And you feel these tree branches turn away from you and toward the sky, nearly pointing directly up. What more power there is. Feed me.
I'm gonna step up. I'm actually gonna walk up to Divot first, and I'm gonna unsheathe Scimitar the rapier, put it in his skeleton hand. I don't know why you have to do it, but do it. I understand. And then I kind of look at the tree and Divot. This is between just. Because it went from this amazing drug trip psychedelica and then into this cold, barren wasteland. That's just a shock. And then getting this news, I trust it. That's why I know if I'm meant to die, it's all my fault anyway. My creation is unnatural. If I wasn't around, we wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't have met any of you guys, but you wouldn't be stuck in this.
Riel, I must confide in you. My deal with death means I must destroy all parts of Sisyphus.
Yes, even the goodness. Yes.
Well, fuck that.
But I didn't say when I had to do it.
All right, there we go.
You see the branches of the tree. You hear this great expulsion of air as almost like this orgasmic wave of energy washes over you all. Yes. Powerful enough I am. Summon you a portal I shall. And you see at the base, Tina, as you're hugging this tree, you're kind of pushed away from the bark as this wave of magical energy focuses. And you're sucked inside. All four of you see Tina absorb into this wave, into the tree. It's this strange swirling, like streaks of stars, and this little green glob floating in the center. You see him spinning, and Tina disappears into the portal. What do you do?
I run after, but before I jump inside, I go, "Thank you, Celestia!" And then I hop inside.
And you see she says, "Thank you, Prince." And the tree almost bows to you as you disappear into the portal.
Gonna resheathe scimitar the rapier and look at Div and go, "Later then?" And then start heading to the portal.
You see Rial disappear into this strange, swirling mass of stars with this strange green glob floating at the center. Torcus, you're left standing in an icy plane.
I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Not one person answered my questions, and everyone was so polite about it, I just couldn't, like, why the fuck did that have to happen? God! Ah! Let's just go. Let's go.
And you see, Thorcus, as you're like walking toward the tree, she's trying to hug you as well. You feel some of those guilts of your own welling up within you, and
I'm good.
bat away. With you're kind of surging. Right. You've still got that kind of like that pump in your veins. You just bat away one of these branches, and you see, respecting your wish, the tree just goes back to basking in this white light. The cold sound disappears.
Nipple rubbing.
You step through the portal. All of you, just like before, you step out the other side, look back, you can push past it. There's no way to go back, only forward. You see you step into this crazy spinning world. Suddenly, as if the entire earth is spinning super fast, you're all like, "Wah!" And you have to like plant yourself, stick your swords in the ground to hold on. You're sitting in this universe of perpetual spinning. You're filled with this strange energy as you start looking around, utterly confused. All of you make charisma saving throws.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You see the stars just spinning in the sky as the pit of your stomach is like going sideways, like you're on one of those rides. You're just like, you feel everything spinning around in your tummy. Whoa! Nice, Brunor.
Whoa. Oh, crit from Brunor. Nice.
Yep.
Right. Oh, dude.
I lost all my lighters.
All right. So it is a DC 15. So Brunor, you're the only one who succeeds. You guys, as everybody's getting thrown around, Brunor, that, the thrill seeker, the cliff diver, the ocean, the person that rides a giant crocodile like a skateboard, that instinct kicks in immediately. You're like, oh yeah, just like when you're riding a wave, you kind of have to lean into it and let the power of it push you, but you kind of glide following the flow. While everybody else is kind of tipsying and turvying, you kind of step your foot down and you start feeling, where you can center your body in this spinning mess around you. You are the only one right now who is not super confused.
Excellent. Tubular.
Righteous.
That's righteous.
Why did I say that?
I said death. Woo. How's everybody doing? Are you guys just having as much fun as I am?
What's happening right now?
What the fuck is that?
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
I feel like Martha Stewart's cooking in my brain.
It's a good thing.
Okay, I want to call out. My name is Prince Brunor the Sister Pet. Is anyone here?
So you look up, as everything else spins, you're kind of like, you figured out where to stand, where it's like, yeah, everything's spinning, but you're almost at like the point of spin. That's not the fulcrum, but it's that same concept. Spinning right, right at that point. You've centered yourself, and you look up, and you see that strange green glob that you noticed, in the portal. And suddenly these two eye circles and a little mouth materializes, and you hear, "I am Glop."
Excellent.
This isn't real.
Hell yeah! Guys, that's Glorp!
Hello, I am Glorp.
Did you hear something?
Glorp, it was Glorp that was talking.
What the hell's a glorp?
I am Glorp.
I forgot
He's Glorp.
Yes.
He is Glorp!
You are learning.
Thank
I am
you.
Glorp. This is my realm.
What are we doing here, glorp?
Not very well.
That's so right.
that answer angers me.
Glorp, what do we
Yes,
gotta
I am
do
Glorp.
here? Whoa, Glorp.
Hi,
Yes,
Glorp.
that is my dog, Dorp.
Can I pet that dog?
No, you may not,
Why?
for I am Glorp.
I'm like, I know how to communicate with him.
Does it?
Glorp, what do we need to do to
Yes,
appease
Glorp.
you?
Ah, I see you speak Glorp as well.
Yes,
Yes,
you can tell from the sound of my voice.
I can.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Well, I have a question for you. If you can answer my riddle, I will let you go.
Hell yeah.
Would you like to hear the riddle?
Yes.
What's a riddle? What?
Glorp is not a riddle.
Oh,
Can you just get to the fucking point?
Yes.
Please.
Would you like to hear the riddle?
Glorp, please tell us the riddle.
Tell
Okay.
me the riddle, or I will chop off your scrotum.
Glorp would not like that.
I don't think he has one, but I like your gumption.
Glorp has
Glorp,
many.
can I hear the riddle, Glorp?
If an elf falls
you
out of a
more
tree,
reflection.
is the dwarf hungry?
If an elf falls out of the tree, is the dwarf hungry?
And
I
Bruno,
don't
as
know,
you
man,
ponder that, you start feeling that confusion. Like, what a weird question. And as you think about it, like that strange energy of like, what? That exact emotion, you feel like a off of you, and it starts floating up into the sky. And you see the Glorp is like, ah, yes, Glorp likes that. And you see the green cloud just kind of gets a little bigger.
Oh, you like when people are confused. How about this? I just realized I had no idea that I was doomfish sexual, you know? I had no idea. It just happened recently. I saw a doomfish. It was my real good friend Riel as a doomfish, and it really, I didn't know. I was scared and turned on.
Yes!
And I didn't know I was...
Glorp is also
works.
aroused. And you see the
I'm
cloud.
so glad it
kind of
wasn't
grows
just
a little.
me.
See? It was really sexual, and
I
it
know
was
how
a
to
lot
feel.
for me, right?
Which made
I'm
me
also
angry.
confused about a Riel thing, but it's more murder based.
I would like to
Oh.
know about it.
I don't know.
So
what
I
the
have
fuck
to
is
kill
going
him,
on.
but I'm constantly compelled to do so. However, when I do kill him, I may end up being some sort of servant for the rest of eternity, and I'm not jazzed about that.
And you see he's like, wow! And the cloud grows. That is very confusing. The world continues to spin. Like, those of you that are not Brunor are having a very hard time just standing. Like, the world is like, you're like grabbing onto a tree to hold on for life. But yeah, you just see this swirling madness around you. It's like hard to focus forward. Brunor's kind of
Brunor's
forcing
just
her way.
vibing. Brunor's vibing. What else? Hey, who else was confused about something recently? My sexuality, Thor gets a little bit of his sexuality. We're all pretty fluid around here.
I'm confused about how to stand right now.
Glorp goes many ways.
Good for Glorp. That's how I feel. I just didn't. Yeah, you know.
Glorp is
You
a
go
progressive.
I'm so confused about his riddle. I'm so. There's only one way. There's only one way we can figure
riddle?
this out. The five are doers, not poo-pooers. So we're gonna find out if the dwarf gets hungry when an elf falls out of a tree. And I'm gonna start climbing the tree. But then I hear about the eyes on Doomfish sexy and Divot's predicament. So I'm like trying to climb the tree and fall out.
Very
You
easy to
hungry?
fall out of a tree right now, Rial. Not as easy to climb up one. Let me get you guys. You could do acrobatics. You've done acrobatics tree climbing before, so I'm gonna need an acrobatics check to see if you can even climb a tree in this spinning madness.
Let's find out.
Only one way to find. Whoa! Ah! Holy shit!
Double crits!
Oh!
Even with disadvantage, you crit!
Double crit!
Wow.
Holy crap! You critted
Wow.
that riddle. A criddle.
A griddle. A little griddle.
Holy crap, it's a crapple.
Oh my gosh! Double 20s, guys. Woo! Glad we started showing. Oh. All right. Awesome, you climb. You got a 30 because your acrobatics is so good. So with a double 30s, yeah, Rial, you make your way up the tree. You know, you're feeling like if you just let your legs go, you would be like sideways floating. Everything's spinning so fast, but you're managing to like climb up the tree, and then you just kind of let go, and you're thrown off the branch. You land on the ground. Thoricus, you feel your tummy rumble. And you see Glorp. Ah! And the cloud grows a little more. He's confused too.
I hear the thud of Rial hitting the floor, and I go over to give him CPR like I don't have magic. I'm all disoriented.
Give me a medicine check, Tina.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, another crit. 3 crits in a row just now. A 1 crit. This one's a 1. This one's
Oh, it's a shit crit. I was looking at the wrong one. Whoopsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina. You rolled that tasty 1. Well, let me tell you, giving CPR to a man who's not dying is very hard, actually.
Question
Very
though, I had
uncomfortable.
lucky. Does it apply in this situation?
You do! Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. I already hit it.
Knew it.
I can't take that back.
Little reroll.
Tina, you're a
I'll just
halfling. You get to re-roll ones once, but if you roll another one, oh, okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, you got a 14.
14.
All right. So yeah, you run up. Unfortunately, it is a 15 DC, but you go up and you're just trying to like give CPR mouth to mouth. You like keep telling Rial like don't raise your arms up, like leave your hands like this. You're like setting his hands across his lap and like you're just like going about things as a non-magical, non-divine person would, which. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, is extremely confusing. So you finally hear as you see Glorp like, I am now a greater form of Glorp! And the entire sky fills with this big green cloud. Open the portal, I will. Remember Glorp! And you see the eyes and the mouth disappear, and there's just this ever-presence of Glorp around you. He exists in 3, 4, maybe 5 dimensions now. Glorp is
I
out.
love that.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Lorp.
You see Brunor right where you're standing, at the center point. You see that right above your head, rather than like up and down, it's like above you, like a circle. You see the circle open. Glorp will let you go where you please, Brunor. Prince Brunor. Brunor, you're gonna choose which demiplane you go to next.
Oh shit,
So-
babe.
You can roll me a d4.
Lord. Okay, a 4. God bless us all. It's a 3.
Yes.
Not as much fun as 2, but
All right, so you're like looking up
Right.
into this spinning portal above you, and you see all these little blue dots of light spinning, like thousands of these little pinpricks of this vibrant, like neon blue light. And at its center, this large tree. You're kind of looking at it. You're like, oh, I'm looking up at the ground. So yeah, the portal's growing above you. You look around and you see all your allies, Tina and Rial kind of clinging to each other to stop from falling away. Tina trying to administer CPR to Rial, who doesn't really need it. And yeah, you see Thoricus just angry as the day is long, just mad, like just standing his ground, but still like clearly teetering in either direction as the spinning goes. What do you do, Brunor?
can I just start tossing my friends up in the hole?
Heck yeah.
I just want to toss my friends in the hole.
Who do you grab first?
I
May
wanna-
I be yeeted?
Yeah,
Eat me in the
I'll
portal?
eat Thoricus first.
All right, so Thoricus, you see Brunor like gives you, you guys have kind of worked out this like battle maneuver talk that over all the time that you guys have fought in battle, and she's kind of giving you the like, I'll give you the jump up. She kind of cups her hands so you can place your feet and jump up. You see she's reaching out to you, and you guys give the signal, and you start running. Go ahead and Brunor, give me a strength check here.
Okay. Wee.
Good enough. As long as it wasn't under 10. You plant, Thoricus is strong enough. He's a very athletic fellow with that 20 strength. He plants his, little iron boot in your hand. You cradle and you toss him up. Thoricus, you disappear into the portal, and you feel yourself like flip upside down, and now you're falling toward the ground. You look down and you see all those same points of light, this big tree in the center. Brunor, you're back. You just tossed Thoricus, he disappeared. You kind of look up, you don't see him in there. Okay, well, who do you want to grab next?
I'm gonna walk up to Divot, and I want to just kind of like predator grab him, and then like swing him around, and then just let him go.
Nice. Yeah, you kind of like, you're like 8-ball corner pocket. You think about how the planet's spinning, and you're like, curveball.
Yeah.
All right, give me another strength saving throw. Let's see. Perfect. 15, definitely. So yeah, you kind of grab him. He's very light. There's not a lot of muscle or
I am
blood.
both light as a feather and stiff as a board.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
And all your blood's gone, so you gotta be a lot lighter.
Yeah, blood's
even
very
now.
heavy if you didn't know.
You had a lot of blood in you. That's
Yeah,
not
I just have too much blood. That's the problem. So yeah, you throw the perfect curveball. Your like laces out. You put the fingers right on him. You kind of throw him, let him go. Glide the throw right at the end. You give him a little like tap with your wrist to send him spinning. Divot, you like a flayed out ninja star, like go into this portal. You experience the same feeling. Your feet tip up, and you start falling down toward all these blue dots on the ground. You see Thoricus falling beneath you. Brunor, we're back to you.
At this point, I'm kind of just dancing my way over, like, stuck in the middle with you, like walking and dancing my way through. And then I get to Tina, and I just want to pick her up and throw over my shoulder, and then do the same with Rial. And just like make my way back over to the hole.
Yeah.
And then just like,
I'm kicking my little feet.
yeah. And I'm vibing. This has been great. I'm surfing USA. And
Yeah,
then
you're
I just,
having a blast.
I throw them both up in, like, at the very end, like pizzas. Like, I want to, like, spin them on my hands a minute and then just be like, wah, wah, and then...
Yeah, you're like, give me a strength check, because yeah, you're trying to like hold them both out and then like let the natural spinning of the planet spin them in your hands. You can't let go of this opportunity, Brunor. Right on the DC, you're all right. You're like holding them out, and they start spinning in your hands, and you're just like, as like a thrill seeker rider, this is like riding a perfect wave and tossing two pizzas at the same time. It's like, man, you just showed, not only that, you're the master of confusion. Nobody confuses as well as Brunor, the serpent slayer, the shield master.
The shield master, yeah. I never really know what's going on anyway, so.
The only request that I have is, instead of pizzas, could they be yeetsas?
These are my yeets.
Absolutely.
Eat it.
And then,
I'm a sucker
on
for
my
it.
last, like, right as I push everybody up in, I want to, like, take one last look around and then do a little bow and be like, later, Glorp, and then jump up in.
Goodbye. You jump in. You feel the same thing, that sensation of like your center of gravity switching in your stomach first, and then your body following suit after. You're like, you're falling down. You look down, you see all your allies kind of falling at the same rate, because that's how falling works. And they, are coming down. Brunor, you're the last one through the portal, so you're kind of like, you have the overarching view of all of it. But it looks like you guys are falling toward this big, massive tree, and you just see thousands of these little pinpoints of blue light spread out, seemingly for miles in all directions. These blue lights kind of pulse, sending this purple energy kind of rippling off of them. You all fall, and just about when you're about 50 feet from the ground, you feel your fall slow. And then like you're half suspended in the air for a moment. And then you feel as you just kind of slowly begin to fall again. Like this sad, creeping fall. You try to move your body a little faster, and it just moves a little slow. And your body get closer to this blue, shining ground. And you can make out that it's actually these electric blue mushrooms, just for miles, glowing like blue light bulbs, surrounding with this wave of purple energy. Just pinging around between them. Your feet all at the same time come down, crushing several of these blue mushrooms. And you hear a great cry. No! Not our brothers, not our brothers, not our brothers, not our sisters, not our sisters. And you hear as each of the mushrooms around you starts crying. And then you see a purple ping, boom, and it bounces off, and as the purple wave washes over the other mushrooms, you hear their own cries of agony. Oh, dead forever. And this encroaching, slow feeling of sorrow washes over you. As you hear the cries and tears of each of these thousands of mushrooms all around you, seemingly in painful, emotional agony. What do?
I'm immediately touched by their cries, and I walk forward and I greet them. What pains you so much?
So much sorrow, death, strife, pain, sadness. And as they say the word sadness, you hear it echo like leaves in the wind. Sadness, 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 sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. Echoing through all these mushrooms. You see the tree at the center mass of all of them, with this strange mist falling down. Sadness.
I walk through the mushrooms, and like a sponge, I absorb all of their sadness. And I greet the tree now. Hello.
Hello. So sad. So much death. So much pain. So little power. 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 Sadness. Sadness. You see the purple pings. Finally, one of the purple waves goes through each of you. Charisma saves, all of you guys. Now this is technically a charm effect, so if you have any kind of thing with charms, you can factor that in. But yeah, it'll be charisma saving throws for everybody.
Dang, dang.
Well, damn.
That's funny.
All right. So, Thorkish, you're standing there looking at this pink mist, or this purple pinging energy kind of washes through you. And you feel, again, you're still kind of like feeding off of this like blood that's just pumping through you. It's like if your erection lasts for more than 4 hours, you should call a doctor. It's like that. Like you feel like you can't possibly stay in this rage forever. And you feel this kind of wave of sorrow like beating against the stone rock of your ferocity in this moment, but you manage to save. But you're aware of that balance. You know it was sadness trying to attack your ferocity, your focus in this moment. Divot as well, you were able to cast it off. Tina, Brunor, and Rial, you feel that wave pass over you. And unfortunately, some of your greatest sorrows start coming to light. Tina, the condition that you left your mother in. You've painted your journey as this regaining of the strength that was taken from you by this vile man. But when you left your father behind, it was your mother who probably felt his ire. Brunor, the phrase keeps echoing in your mind. The dragons came from the north. That question has plagued you your entire life. Had you been at your post, you could have stopped them. Rial, you remember seeing your only friend, your visitor, your kindly stranger, the only friend that you had in your 7 years of imprisonment as Urgon, the mad wizard, tortured your body, racked you with vile magics. Your one respite was your friend, the cat, kindly the stranger. And you remember now, before the woods, in the moments after your inception, as part of the ritual that tore you asunder from Sithis. You watch as Kindly's body is crushed in front of you. The snapping of bones as all the blood in his body spills on the floor, and his lifeless corpse falls to the ground.
I pull up, I cast Find Familiar, but I'm in quite a state. So it's just a flickering image of the familiar I have. It never was Kindly, but he did what Kindly does best. I just want to see the face of him that I can.
You call him forward, the familiar that you shaped in the image of this, the only hero in Rial's story. You painted in the way you liked to see him. You always thought that he was so wise, and so in the spot of his glimmering green eyes, you placed galaxies, endless, timeless, something that can never die. You remember how at sometimes he was wet and sometimes he was dry, and you would comment on how his tail felt differently, as if he had two different ones, and so you gave him two tails. You summon his shimmering visage. You remember the final details that you added to your picture. The Feywild ticklings, the golden monocle, the top hat, the jacket, the tails. You see him step out of the magic that you summoned him from so many times before. And you see his galaxy eyes look into yours. Yes, Rial. We did pretty well together.
Sorry, I couldn't save you, bud.
But you did, Rial. Look at me now. And you see he stands up full of pride, like a cat in a sunbeam. I will live forever. And then the galaxy eyes kind of focus. I will never die. And he kind of returns into your little pocket dimension.
So they're super sad.
Yes.
And it's actually it worked on me too, but it didn't affect me the same way. There's a beauty in the sadness, and it's the closest to like a feeling that I haven't had in a long time, and it makes me feel alive in a weird way.
Yeah, because Divot, what stronger emotion, like what elicits sadness better than anything else but the cold grasp of death? And as you are coming to grips and learning the power of that death, you're almost reminded of that cool breeze that you feel when you're standing on the stone steps leading up to death's throne. That sadness, but what is sadness but almost pure, raw emotion? And so as your mastery of that emotion in this moment, you feel this strange, it's not a sinister smile across your face, but it is that realization, again, like Tina's roses must die, death is such a part of that cycle.
I see one mushroom in particular that gets it. And I look at it and I communicate to it and I'm like, little one, come with me and you will experience sadness in ways that you have never seen before.
Divot, you hold your hand out to one of these small, pinpoints of blue glowing light, and you speak those words, and you see it fold itself into your cupped hand, and it turns into a small puddle of tears. And you're just kind of like cupping this neon blue puddle of tears in your hands. But it seems it's okay with going with you.
Okay. I just kind of like put him up under my hood.
It's called exactly. It's like almost like in a cartoon, like water magic. He's kind of he's like a he's like a flubber a little bit, but made of neon blue tears. And so you just kind of like put him into your robe. You feel him kind of settle in a little warm puddle around the back of your neck, and he's just kind of like hanging on to the back of you. But you also have one of these now. Your mushroom collection is growing. Tina Brunor, you see Divot, again, this tree in the center. You feel the clicking of the roots, as if the tears on the soil of the ground is the water that feeds this mighty tree. And as the sorrows of Rial spill their, salty essence on the earth, they're absorbed into the roots of this tree, and you hear the great tree creaking, growing, getting stronger.
As the tree grows, I'm sitting here at the base of it, and I feel this deep sorrow, a sorrow that I haven't felt since the death of my mother. And I remember specifically when it was time for me to handle the arrangements. I approached her forge, and it was cold and barren, just like her lifeless body when I found it. And I sit with this worst memory that I hold with me. And I carry it, and I don't speak it to the tree. I hold it to myself still, but I place my hand on the tree, and I cry silent tears with the tree, transferring the sorrow from myself to the tree.
You watch, almost as if your own sorrows spill like tears, but out of your entire spirit, as this wave of sorrow is just purged. This moment. You've kind of come to terms with that final image. You haven't been able to paint the picture fully in your mind, but you allow yourself to see it, to just embrace what that moment was. And you purge those emotions, and you actually start to feel a little better. You see, the step, the path that set you on, the world that you saved, the divine energy that you now draw upon, forging your way into a new world. You realize that releasing these powerful emotions, just coming to grips, to handling them, talking them, giving them names and words, is helping purge you of this overwhelming feeling that's locked you.
It feels like closure, and through my tears, my tear-blinded eyes, I see my mother in the craggles of the tree, and I can say goodbye to her, finally. I was robbed of that entirely. This is a private moment, but it's mine, and it's one that I was robbed of.
And yes, you see as that final goodbye is washed as down into the earth, again you hear the tree reaching higher toward the heavens. Sorrow, sorrow, sadness, sadness, light the way.
Sorrow, we'll give you your sorrows, but first, please give us more information about you. What is your name?
I am the Lord Persovius, once the most powerful of Archfays. My dominion grows weak, the sadness not contained. My power bleeds to other realms. I need sorrow. I need sadness, to send you home.
Hello, my name is Prince Brunor. The the serpent of the lost kingdom of Elmira. Hello, Lord Besovius? Was it Besovius? I couldn't hear you over my own...
Vesuvius.
Besovius. Lord Bezos.
He's probably got a demiplane. It makes me sad.
I come to you with just a humble request. Take any sorrow that you can from me that I carry with me for my regrets. I've let people down. The last conversation I had with my sister was an argument over stupid bullshit. And I've tried to move on and take the pain and turn it into something that I could do something with, that I could turn around, you know? And then I met these people, and Brunor takes a look at the five, and she has tears in her eyes, but they're tears of just sorrow mixed with almost hope. She goes, and I finally feel like I could return back to my home and just reclaim something of it, or at least get rid of Exonius. And she starts crying, and the tears are falling down her face now. I just feel like I finally I lost a family. I don't know what happened to them. I haven't heard from them. I've never been able to go back. But I feel like I found a new family. These are your boys. You know, like these are the boys I've been talking about this whole time. There's honor and there's respect and there's truth in and of each other, even when we feel like we haven't been able to give each other the truth.
And you see the mushrooms around you, no longer sending these purple lights, but now all the blue light within them starts glowing brighter and brighter. You feel the light on your face. As if this purge and the corresponding happiness is having some effect.
I just love you all so much, and I'm so happy that I'm just gonna be able to move forward. And just this stupid happy tears. It's like waterfalls, like in an anime, like just like whoosh, like.
I'm in the middle of my purge too, and I'm already there emotionally with you. So I wrap my arms around you, crying.
I'm hugging her and I'm crying, and I look at Rial and I stick my hand out, and I do little grabbies. Come here, get in here, and I pull him in and I hug him, and we're all just crying.
Yes, in a nice emotional purge, you see water. You know, you look over and you see Thorcus standing like with his arms crossed, just like. Ugh.
We all like take our tiptoes and we like get over to Thorcus and Divot and we like also hug. We pull them all in and we're just crying and hugging and hugging and crying.
Yes, the tears are falling down. You know, the purple pings of sad energy no longer pulsating. But as you guys hug and you share this kind of emotional purge, the letting out of so many guilts and weights that have carried you this far, but now stand in your way. It's time to move beyond them, to move forward, and you have found people to do it with. No longer alone, no longer just your battles. You fight with each other. And as that feeling, that revelation happens within you all, you see as those glowing blue electric mushrooms pulsate with a pure white light. You hear the tree continue to grow. You look, you can no longer see the top. It seemingly grew, beyond the top of the sky. It grows large. You feel that emotion summoning this small pin drop of a portal, but not nearly powerful enough to open yet. Feed it your purgings. The tree continues to grow. Its canopy now beyond the sky. It's just one large stalk of wood that extends, infinitely into the sky. But the portal, still, small, not big enough for you guys to go through.
I also feel really sad that I might have given a baby to Sisyphus. That makes me feel really sad.
That is sad.
That's so sad. Why did I do that?
And you all allow it to, wash over you, this cold reality. But what you do realize in the pit of each of your stomachs is that every single person that you walk alongside in the world is battling these same fears, these same doubts, these same questions of could they have done something right? Could they have changed something? Everybody's in that boat. But it's up to you guys to forge a new tomorrow for all these other people who can't for themselves. And as that energy starts to fill you, you start to feel that legendary pulse again. Like in those moments when Divot stands on the tops of mountaintops with a great horn blowing his song, causing avalanches of snow. Or when Rial summons magical, fireworks to astonish onlookers at all of the many feats that you guys have done away. Calling upon terrific magic, doing these incredible things, transforming himself into this sea creature, and just unleashing in various forms, despite knowing everything that he knows now. Tina, forging through, finding family, this broken history, the biggest reminder of the biggest regret of your life, now walks with you every single day. Brunor, that crushing weight of what you could have done for your kingdom. But you look around now and you know what you can do. You can kill Exonius. You can get revenge, Thoricus. You can strike down the man that struck down, General Brachus Grumblehelm, your mentor, the shadow god Sithis. It's all coming to a point, and you all know what must be done. And as you have that realization, the portal opens, and it's just this glimmering, gossamer wave, like a butterfly's wings. And it's just this thin, magical energy that floats with a warm sunrise behind it. You know that sunrise, the same burning sun that has been frozen in sky since you first began your journey with the great druid Achaeus. It is the material plane calling you back once more, shimmering from behind this portal. What do you do?
Are you guys ready?
Time to get some sun.
Papa's pale.
Cha, 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 cha,
As the energy fills you all, like heroes charging charming the beaches of Normandy, you all start just charging into your new destiny. Sithis must be avenged. His shadow dragon Exonius must be slain. The truth of Rial and Sithis must come to light. You return once more to the realm of men.
Wow!
You look around. You see a broken sundial, charred marks, and 3 very angry trees. And that's where we're gonna pick it up next time, guys.
Charred marks?
Yeah, it blew up.
Treants. Shit.
Oh yeah.
These guys again.
So yes, you guys have you've resummoned yourself back to the Dryad's Cult. That was where your portal has dumped you. You imagine that the sundial was probably a much cleaner version of that portal at one point, but for some reason it's all broken now.
I have no idea.
All right, what a fucking escape from the Feywild, guys. I don't know what to do with this joint because I have now lit it from both ends. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a struggle this whole time, but I'm gonna keep smoking it.
That's it. I think I just smoked my last hit out of this. It might be ash, but
Holy crap, guys. That was
Get
freaking
Sesh.
amazing. Holy
yeah.
crap, guys. I freaking love you guys. Thank you for going there. That was just a ride and a half. This is the, man, this is some of the good stuff. This is, it tickles the cockles. Your cockles get tickled. But no, thanks so much to my wonderful cast for just that bizarre and insane ride through several demiplanes of emotion. That was a treat. Also, the Feywild's a crazy place. If you haven't figured that out now, maybe don't step into that ring of mushrooms outside your door. Holy crap, dudes, that was fucking so good. So good. I cannot wait to get back and see how we're going to end this Shakinda Prophecy that we've heard so much about. But to do that, we got to play again, and we'll be back next week at Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific here on Twitch. We're here every week, man. Thanks so much to you guys for hanging out. We do have a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't. We like to take a lighter, like this guy. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go. Lighters up. Thanks so much for playing D&D with us, guys. Oh, and now I put it in my mouth backwards. It's an abomination. Ooh. D and done, baby.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.